And now, Hangar 56 Media presents Spike's Car Radio, a downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast Spike Ferriston. Now, here's Spike.
It's the most wonderful time of Zuckerman's rear. Here we are, a very special Festivus show. We've got Jonny Lieberman here. Zuckerman blowing his nose. We're in the Baldwin Hills estate of Zuckerman, high up atop. What hill is this, Zuckerman? Baldwin Hills. With a beautiful view of downtown. It looks like Christmas. It kind of looks like Vegas in downtown LA from here. This place is really great. We just ate some delicious food.
The best. Let's give a plug to Las Anayas on Adams Boulevard and West Boulevard.
Hey,
what do you think?
It was great.
Plug them. Man, that was a treat. That was like, in my mind, that's Baja California style Mexican food. All fish, all delicious, all spicy, all yummy.
Delicious pork. We're smoking cigars
Really
that you
good
brought.
cigars.
Tell everyone what the cigars are. I want to paint this picture.
Yeah, these are Tatuaje, and these were sent to me by Mr. Pete Johnson himself, who owns Tatuaje. And
Tatuaje. How do you spell that?
There's a movie out called Hand Rolled, and I think it's about the craft cigar industry in America. And so he released 5 cigars, boxes of 5 cigars for the movie. He sent me a box, plus some other cigars. Really nice guy.
You might want to spell that because people might not be able to spell
Pete Johnson.
Tatuaje. No, Tatuaje. Tatuaje.
Tatuaje is just tattoo in Espanol, but it's how is it spelled? It's Tatuaj. I can't spell. This is not fair. Tatuaje.
Is that people screaming down there?
Probably
I
screaming.
just heard that. Well, anyway.
Oh, it's on the label here. Tatuaje. Tatuaje.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
And
they're delicious.
It's Friday night. It's for us. Feels like the holidays here in LA. It's great. Except for the fact that 4 people an hour are dying here.
What are you going to do?
Except for that, and we know all of you are going through that too, so we're here for you. We're going to do a show. We're sitting out back, by the way, socially distant, outside, away from each other.
And I'm being asphyxiated all the same. Well, how did I get in the middle of you two every effing time?
Shut up.
It's a
Literally,
cigar
by the way,
show, and I'm in the middle getting...
Podcast listeners, I literally said, Paul, you're sure it's okay if we light these up?
And what did he say? Right.
It's cool.
That's different than what I'm going to say on the show.
He said, "You're my guest.
You're my guest. Do
You're
what
my
you
guest.
want."
You can do whatever you want."
Mi casa
Oh wait, I'm sorry.
es
Are we,
su casa.
are we recording?
Now
Fuck
I'm
you.
gonna, now I'm gonna,
Fuck you.
Go on a diatribe. Denigrate you for smoking those filthy things.
Let's
Horrible.
not try not to talk over each other in this
Grandma.
very special Festivus episode. Well, I think of who's that journalist? That Hollywood Reporter journalist. You know him. Your friend Zuckerman.
Guzik.
John Guzik.
Guzik.
Right.
I was going
Yeah.
to say
Yeah.
Guzik, yeah.
He complains to me personally when I have either the 3 of us or Farron. He's like, "You're really going to stop everybody from talking over each other." I tell him they react this way. They're like children. But for Mr. Guzik of the Hollywood Reporter, let's try not to step on each other on this very special Festivus episode. Now, first, I thought I would just tell you what I remember about the Seinfeld Festivus episode.
And you helped. You were a writer at the time.
I was a producer and a writer on the show.
Okay.
I don't know that I was working on this one. This could have been. It was definitely Danny O'Keefe, Berg, and Schaefer, I'm sure, and maybe Mandel, because they were part of the Harvard crew. But here's what I remember about the story leading up to the episode. Danny O'Keefe, right around the holidays, told the story of how his father, I believe was a scientist of some kind, made up a holiday. Didn't want to celebrate any sort of Hanukkah, didn't want to celebrate any sort of Christmas. He said, "I'm going to make up this, I got this thing we're going to do, it's called Festivus, that had feats of strength and a metal pole," and the kids were really upset about it. When Danny told us the story in the writer's room, he was kind of upset. He wasn't crying, but he was just like, this was not a pleasant part of my childhood.
Another ripped-off childhood. Fodder for the
Comedy
greatest.
writers, yes. In general, we have ripped-off childhoods. Me too. But what Danny at the time was a new writer, okay? One thing you never do in a room full of comedy writers is tell them your deepest, darkest secrets, which he just did. So, of course, now we have raw meat to beat him with every single day because it's just us. It's this insane clubhouse 7 days a week. And it got to be so fun, and it was such a crazy story with a metal pole that by the time it got to Seinfeld, when he would walk in the room, he was like, "What are you guys? What is this? The Festivus? What is that? Some sort of skin disease?" And like, no, listen to this story, and he loses it. And that's where Seinfeld's story came from. When all of us started laughing and riffing, and then someone would just go, "Well, what if Kramer? Well, what if George's dad?" You go, "Yes." And I was there for that moment when Danny said, "No, please." Please.
And that's it. Oh, yeah. That means the deal is sealed. At that
Exactly.
point.
Sold in the elevator, I think they call that, right?
If my dad sees that this is you'll have validated everything he did to us, and it will become, and that you see it now. It's on calendars. The word Festivus is there. It's the 23rd of December, if I'm not mistaken, and it's got a whole thing. You can buy the metal poles now. It's like Scientology with L. Ron Hubbard. It's begun, and we're only at the very beginning of what I think is a world that will celebrate Festivus. So. Part of Festivus is the airing of grievances.
Do I have some fucking grievances?
Which we do, I think, every 10 shows. Or Zuckerman, you do every show. I
Every
certainly
day.
did 2 weeks ago. So here we are on Festivus with you on the 23rd. There are also Feats of Strength, which works into Jonny Lieberman's workout that he's putting on Instagram for some goddamn reason. Why don't I just start there?
I'm stuck in the house. I actually knew, because I've seen that episode.
Yes.
I brought a deck of cards. I could do some really wonderful radio. It's like a ventriloquist on the radio.
I don't even remember the beat of that. All I remember is the airing of grievances.
No, I'm saying I could show you a feat of strength. I could rip a deck of cards
okay.
live on the radio.
Why don't we end? We'll end with that. That's
Okay,
good.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. Well, since you're our guest, Johnny, why don't you start with your grievance? We're also going to get to everybody else's grievances as well.
All right, I have a big one. You sold your fucking 4.0. This is what Spike tells me.
Yeah.
You bastard. you.
And you
How many
realize,
swear words can we get away with here?
and I think you've been driving it.
I drove another one, but I
I
was
thought
like,
it looks like mine. Old car. It probably is.
Yeah, so
No.
so Johnny, you were on Instagram, and I saw you in a 4.0 that looked like Zuckerman's.
no, this was a 000 car. It was a museum car, but
Okay.
But oh my god, how could you sell that?
It was hard.
You monster.
You know, and I owned that car right from the beginning, but I had partners in the car, and I had, and our friend Moise, who we frequently talk about and complain about, he was the factor. He was the catalyst and the pusher to sell that, and it just had to go, and I agree with you.
Okay,
It's an exceptional car.
It's the best car. No.
It's the best GT3,
The best car.
That's okay. They
No,
come back.
it's
They
the
come
be-
back.
I mean, so just so everyone, in case you don't follow me religiously on Instagram or Farah or anybody else who drove these fucking things, Porsche brought out from the German museum a 996 GT3 RS. So that's like never sold in the U.S.
White
super
or
rare.
red? Or blue?
White with red wheels.
White with red wheels.
Yeah.
Red or blue?
The 4.0 black one.
Oh, boy.
Then they brought out a 997 GT2 RS. Then they had a 911R, and then they had a GT2 RS, the new one.
Could you rank them?
I did rank them.
Oh, can I ask first though? What were they doing? Why were they bringing?
They
these?
wanted to bring a little joy to us poor, miserable journalists.
Yeah, send you home crying.
Well, but no, it was an amazing program because we got probably 25 laps in each car, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But it was at the Porsche Experience Center, and we were hauling. It was great.
Who all was there with you?
I was there with a dude named Alex who writes for 000. But they had a couple different programs. So
Right.
when I was there, it was 7:30 to noon, and it was just two of us, and it was like we each had a driver, and it was masks on. It was crazy.
Wow.
But it was great. Ranking. Okay, so the last place, and again in any other competition, this one would be first place. But the 997 GT2 RS, super cool, but.
Yeah.
You have those other four. It is really good.
Totally understandable.
But it's also like it's not the Widowmaker. Like everyone's like, oh my god, it's so uncontrollable. It's like I was doing 120. It seemed all right. Then
That's where you get into trouble with that one.
tie for the 996 and the current GT2 RS because they're both like great. 996 is a bit of a dinosaur at this point.
You can't
like,
tie
performance-wise.
those.
Yeah, you can.
No.
In terms of enjoyability?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, no.
The 996 is not even going to compare to a GT2 RS.
Well, except that it was a it has hydraulic steering, so the steering feels 7 times
Yeah.
better. It's a manual, so it's awesome. It doesn't have turbo, so it sounds cool. Engine revs out. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot. No. The
Little too
GT2
primitive.
RS is a weapon, and
Yes.
it's 700 horsepower, maniac machine.
yes.
But anyways, the 911R was real. That's just a sweetheart car, and then the 4.0 is just like there'll never be another car like it.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just it's
Yeah.
Ooh, this is hurting hearing
It's
this.
so-
What,
so
Zuckerman,
raw,
what
it's
do
so
you think
racy.
about that list that he just put together? He's
Well,
a little
okay,
off
I
with a
can
couple.
tell you that. I can tell you that.
That's my grievance. You're wrong about a couple of them, but not all of them, Johnny.
I believe that the 4.0 was the greatest one ever put out.
I would agree.
Because of just the package size, the way the power was delivered, the way that thing handled. Do you remember the time you saw me coming down Sunset?
sound.
The other way? You heard me coming in. You could really.
And here's the other thing too is like that engine is an all new engine. It's not like they took a 3.8 and just like made a little bit bigger pistons. Like everything about that engine is new for that car. And there was 600. They made a brand new fucking engine for 600 cars. Like the GT2 RS, it's the turbo engine turned up a little bit. There's no new parts really. Maybe someone's gonna say, "Oh, the connecting rod is titanium." Okay, yeah, but like the 4.0 is the last iteration of the Metzger engine. It's just like it's the greatest. It's just the greatest.
I
thing.
think we all agree with number one.
I
Number
would
two.
I would say the 911R really is. That's a very. To me, it would be the 911R or the GT2 RS as tied for second.
I might give the R a number 2 by itself. I don't think I disagree with that.
I had the RS
and then
too.
with the the 2 RS
And
at
I
3.
think in the article I wrote, I think I had the GT2 RS as 3, and then
Yes.
the 996 just below it.
Yes. All right. So we do agree.
Yeah, we agree.
So I had a choice. And that, do you know that was my second GT2, second RS 4.0. I had brand new, a white one. And can you believe I drove that as an everyday driver? I put 13,000 miles on that car just driving around. No wonder why my back hurt so bad.
Which
'Cause
one?
Again,
the
The
4.0?
white one. Remember I had a white
you
one?
had
Yeah, you had 2.
I had a white. Yes, I had 2.
You know, normal people can't relate to you. They hear this and they just like, this is very infuriating.
We have people, they don't want to listen to normal people talk.
this is-
they
but
want
you
to
see-
listen to this
But
stupidity.
this is where Plan Z has its drawbacks.
so
Because
who owned the white one with you? Another?
I own the white one myself, and
Oh,
that
right.
was something
Okay.
that our friend Dee Maroney got for me. I was in that at the time. I was able to get that car for sticker, and then
Yes.
I liked it so much. I said, "Find me a black one," because I realized the white was the weak color
Yes.
in of them, and so I got a black one. It was a little bit more than sticker at that time, but I had my partner John Carpenter in the car with me. And I had Moise in the car with me. And between the two of those guys, while I did get to use their money and have most of the drive time, which is
They
the
were
bad
paying,
part.
it wasn't worth it.
It was a pain in the ass. And you know what Moise is like when he gets on
Yeah.
something.
No, that was the big sell when everything went. Right? What it was right around then. That's where the 2 RS went. It was the whole.
Yeah, he had to
the
sell
whole-
everything. He
it's-
was
everything must go.
Everything
and we
must go.
You know, you ask about Plan Z when one of your partners says everything must go.
He had what you would call a closing sale in his marriage. So he was
yeah,
yes,
everything must go.
closing shop.
Okay, sorry, Moise.
After 25 years going out of business.
Look at that. That's my,
I just outed my friend's divorce. Look at him laughing.
well, that's my grievance. That's all I got tonight, boys.
His marriage went down.
Look at you. See? There's no farrow weed, and you're laughing, Zuckerman. Oh, my God. You're truly evil tonight. Well,
Yeah, Farrah.
you should. What's your grievance? Let's go. We've got a lot of grievances to get through.
Not
Do you
really.
have one?
Selling two 4.0s is like.
Oh, wait.
You're
No,
the
but
devil.
he's got the mic now. This is a show about airing of grievances. Go ahead.
I'm going to air grievances. As I posted, I don't like people. I've decided people are revolting to me. And out in the world, I hear people. If I hear you breathing and you're just like standing on line next to me and I can hear your labored breathing, I don't like you.
You know, if you had a 4.0, you couldn't hear anybody because it's so fucking loud.
Exactly.
How could you sell that car?
I don't.
All right,
Yes,
I'll
I don't
stop.
like people who talk on the phone while I'm outside, and then they can't stay moored in one place. As they're talking on the phone, they move around in circles, yelling and screaming. I fucking hate that.
That's not good.
Right. Then there's the guy that is pissing at the urinal, that farts while he's pissing and thinks it's okay.
That's very Larry David. That was one of his big complaints back in the day. Right around the Festivus days, before Festivus. I remember this was one of the first things I kept hearing Larry David complain about when I was a new writer on the show.
So,
and I was like, what is this?
These are my general complaints about humanity. There's one I'm going to give a moment of gratitude to COVID. Just one little itty bit.
There's a lot to like about it.
Okay. No Christmas music this year, and I think Lieberman can relate to this. When you're on our side of the fence, imagine this, Ferguson.
Also, real quick, Jews wrote all those fucking horrible songs.
It's
so
true.
We brought it on ourselves.
And that's always the story of Jews. We bought it on ourselves. Everything we bought on ourselves, like this Jesus guy. I mean, think about it.
Christmas tree lots, Jews.
Yes,
those
everything.
Christmas trees everywhere.
Yeah, this is think of it. I calculated in my head, Ferguson.
Yes.
That there's 80 Paul Zuckermans to get back to the time of Jesus. Can you imagine my 80 forebears were all suffering at this time of year? Christmas hasn't been good.
They had Christmas music back then?
They had something.
Probably.
Trust me, or throw you on the fire.
I can't believe you're upset about Christmas
burn your
music.
Hut down and
See,
there was an annual pogrom around
something.
that.
Yes,
It was the raping of the ancestral grandmothers.
Trampled
so
under
nice.
the Cossack horses' hooves. Right.
That's why we have blue eyes.
Yes.
I was just laughing because my kids get the pizza on Friday night. They're done with school, and I had the iPhone. I played some Christmas music for them, and it was really nice. And then I had to rush over. I know you guys can't relate to that, but the funny moment that happened in reality, which was I ran out to the truck to get everything, and of course left half the things I wanted back in the house while the Christmas music was playing on my phone, and I'm walking across the lawn. It's going. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and I'm going, fucking shit! I forgot what's wrong with my brain.
Written by Howie Rosenthal.
Right.
Right.
And I feel like I've seen that kind of in every hacky comedy in the world, and then yet it happened to me naturally. I couldn't even. Maybe I'm getting some use of it here, but that's interesting. I've never heard that point of view.
Okay, when you
Really?
because you were inside. You're inside the restaurant. And we're outside. It's like that
I'm
scene
not.
in Trading
I have
Places,
a foot in each
right?
restaurant.
Where Bill, whatever, he's outside. Eddie Murphy's at the table.
Yeah.
And the other dude's outside.
My brother Wally is Jewish. He converted.
Why would
play
he-
Christmas music?
And my dad was raised Jewish for a little while, and then he was baptized
you weren't.
Catholic to cover up the Jew. So my Jewish relatives would come over all the time. I don't know. I always think, it's funny, Tucker, when I was driving up here and I was just looking at some of the apartments on the way up, and a couple of them had the multicolored Christmas lights around there, and you could see the tree in there and the TV flickering, and it really made me feel happy. And
lights I like.
You know what I mean?
Music I
lights
don't.
are fine.
Lights
I
are
hate the
great.
music.
I wanted to be in that apartment and hang out with them.
No,
I can just take you down the hill to the area called the Jungles.
I was raised a
Hey,
little
that's-
different. My father was a pretty militant atheist, and he thought like telling little kids that Santa Claus was real was really stupid. So my sister and I,
This is like Danny O'Keefe's dad. This is exactly
kind
it.
of, but
This is where it began.
But check this out. We had plenty of Hanukkah. Hanukkah was fine, but my sister and I, we used to really like Christmas. We wanted to watch the Christmas movies and all this. So my dad would light a fire every Christmas Eve to keep Santa Claus out. So that was. So I think I still hold that just. Like, you know what I mean? I've never seen like a Christmas tree and been like, oh, how inviting. I'm like, oh my God, they're coming for us.
I have. We managed to get an amazing Christmas tree this year. I'm so happy with the tree. I'm not usually this pro-Christmas, but on it we have that guy Barry from 2020, the guy with the big schlong. There's a Christmas ornament.
I bought one of those for my friend. I saw your
Mr.
post.
Hanky. Yeah, I mean, he really embodies everything that is 2020. He's the spirit animal of this whole year. And, when you learn his story and you feel for the guy and then he died, you have to have him up there. You have to have Grogu. I got a Grogu, a little Yoda
That's
guy.
the baby Yoda, yeah.
Tonight after this, we're going to go watch the finale of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's tonight.
I
Which
can't
is gonna
believe
be
that
nice.
You made me feel a little. You reached my heart talking about Barry.
Well, I was
Very
really
word.
touched by that guy. We all made fun of him, and then you learn about him, and Tom Segura was instrumental in that, and he becomes a human being to you. So, I bought it not to make fun of him. I bought that ornament to honor him. That's the type of shit I like. People like that who emerge and a real story comes. And then, I don't know. I just like my tree this year. I'm happy with it. My wife did an amazing job
I hope
for
a
once.
Jew sold it to you.
No, there's like...
an Armenian.
There's one Christmas tree lot on the west side that just rips you off, and it's like, hey, Johnny's Christmas trees.
One on Sunset or on that
No,
sky?
there's one. Everything else is a mess, and you end up at Johnny's and you trudge through mud, and I don't. I
Did you hear there's a Christmas tree shortage this year?
There is. But
Yeah.
this guy, you could go, hey, I need to get rid of a body. He goes, hey, Johnny will do that too. It's like one of those places. They go, why are the trees so cheap? Because the stands are $200. And you're like, fuck, I have $800 for a tree? No, the tree's cheap. The stand from Johnny's, it's that type of place. But it's now become a whole thing. And then we threw up the tree on the old Series 2A. How are you not loving life? I've been loving life. I've been loving these holidays because it seems like the most normal thing that's happened to all of us in this year. And I think that's why I'm enjoying it a little more than I normally enjoy it.
I think, I will say, that just to be pro-COVID for one moment, like, taking a break from, I think the three of us have been in a rat race for a long time.
Yeah.
And, actually taking a break, all right, I'm not going to be jet-lagged
Yes.
for a year. It's kind of been good on some level. On the other
Yes.
level, I'm bouncing off the fucking walls,
Yeah. And of course, people are hungry and people
Dying.
are
dying,
making money
and
making
by the way,
money.
all getting
Yes.
evicted.
But
Yeah.
I will tell you this: I'm seeing the camera trucks and the crews, film crews, out in my neighborhood all the time, and I know it's Larry David's Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I know there's one hell of a politically incorrect season coming. Because there are so many stories swimming in my head about, hey, what do you mean? We don't have to leave the house. You have to stay home and watch Netflix. I don't have to go to dinner with so-and-so anymore. I don't have to. I would guess that whole season is going to live in that what's good about COVID mess, and hopefully make us all laugh, which we need, and people will understand it.
What is your... Okay, give us a grievance, Ferriston.
Yeah. Come on.
Come on, Ferriston. Let us hear.
I don't know that I have one right
Come
now.
on, give us a little puerile
I think
rant.
like I said, I peaked with Next Door, and I don't feel like I should. I want to give my time to the listeners. If I think of something, I will say
I
it.
hate him. This is why. Can you see it, Johnny? He's always got to take that position. He's always got to stake out that.
He's
He's
making
the reason. He sets me
Right,
up to
right.
rant.
You're the bad
and
guy.
hate.
Now I'm the
I hate
co-bad guy.
everybody.
You're
and
not
he's got
the
it
bad
all.
guy.
I'm with
He's
you.
fine.
I'm with you, Paul.
I really don't feel a grievance, but as you know, if I flick my switch, I'm dead. The listeners heard it, and I kind of want to sleep tonight. But let's give
So
them.
wait, real quick though,
Yes.
because I missed that episode. Actually, to be honest, I've never listened to a podcast in my life. But you got banned from some app or something?
I'm banned from Next Door. Yes, this neighborhood social media app.
The weakest band.
Here's what's really good about it career-wise for me is I live on the west side of L.A. with near the head of Disney, the heads of all the studios who lurk. Everybody lurks. So I self-immolated in front of everyone.
Right.
Oh, they like you then.
But on the right side of things. I don't think so. I don't think I carry myself with any dignity when I'm on that app. Because I feel like when I'm dealing with complete morons, they don't deserve to be treated like normal people. When someone makes a point that seems valid, a different point of view in a smart way, I have no problem with that. However, when someone just goes we were chatting about the car people we know in the community, you're like, the mask is a joke, nothing. That's where I kind of lose it. And at the time, I had a father-in-law dying. I was having deathbed conversations with my kids for 3 days, for real, and that's a very emotional thing. And here are a bunch of parents going, "This thing's not real. Let's send kids back to school." So, not surprisingly, I felt like lighting up a cigar and working my writer's brain with some good put downs.
Because about 6 years, I brought it up about 6 years ago. I wasn't on Nextdoor. I don't think it existed, but there was like a neighborhood Facebook group.
Yes,
The Eagle Rock neighborhood Facebook group. And I I think I banned myself, or I asked to be kicked out of the group. But what happened was I had a green, like a Kermit the Frog green Lamborghini Huracan, right? And I'd been filming all day. And, I'm filming. I'm up in the canyon. I'm doing 130, driving like a maniac. I'm coming home. I'm making a right onto my street where I lived, going to the house. Somebody got a picture of me. And, if you make a right-hand turn, you temporarily go into the bike lane to make a right-hand turn, right? And they put a picture up on the neighborhood Facebook group like, there goes the neighborhood. Look at this douchebag driving his Lamborghini in the bike lane. Right?
Are they wrong?
Well, this is a wonderful thing. This is like a medal of honor.
Yes.
So I go, well, actually, I could see from the photo, like, A, that's my street. B, you took that while you were driving. Like, what's more dangerous, me making a right or you with your... And she goes, no, my son had me make a U-turn to get he wanted a picture of the car. I'm like,
right.
So you flipped an illegal U-turn on a 4-lane street to get a picture of my car, and I'm the bad guy.
Right.
And then
to shame me in my neighborhood,
right.
right.
And I'm like, I was coming home from work. Yes, I work in cars, but like, I live where you live. I can't afford I'm not these two. The Paul
But
and
if,
Spike here.
And
anyways, it was a disaster, and so I got out of the group.
With a Huracan, that's such a great car. If you just let her drive it, she would understand what's great about that car. You should just. That's why I said. So I was banned, as were the two ladies I was tangling with.
Oh,
and now,
I didn't know that part. Oh, okay.
Well, they really crossed the line with personal insults. I mean, it made me laugh. They weren't.
Were
good
they
at
banned
it,
for the same duration?
No. I'm a multiple offender, so I started with 1 day, and then it's 2 days, and it's 4 days, and that's 2 weeks, and now it's a month. But I'm so much happier without it. And here's the other reason.
Do you need it? I don't know what it does.
No, not at all.
It just winds you up.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. No, it doesn't just do that. Here's why I actually got on there, because there's a lot of street-to-street crime information that is accurate that's good. For instance, there was a home invasion Friday night, and you can hear from the person whose home was invaded, here's what happened, here's what I didn't have right, and I find that information very useful.
For what? What are you going to do? What are you going to do with that?
Well, do you remember maybe a year ago when houses on the west side were getting burgled all the time?
Okay.
You can start to see, oh, shit, this is right down the street. It's useful for a family meeting. Like, hey, guys, let's start locking the door.
Okay.
Hey, Erica, my wife, you know how you think you tighten up a little bit and you talk to your security guys and, you take care of yourself. It's useful information. I also liked all the lost animal information. I myself have rescued 3 lost dogs and put them up there and got them to the neighbors. So I've done things like that.
This is
he's a good Samaritan.
Again, he's a good Samaritan. We're just Credence.
No,
we're
it's
over
not.
here on the
There
Credence
is-
side
look,
of things.
the app, I love it and I hate it. Where it goes wrong for most people, including myself, is nobody wants politics on there. We don't want to talk about COVID on there. We want this, like, hey, help me name my tortoise, or hey, does anybody have a bike for my 5-year-old? I don't feel like buying one, and so somebody want to throw theirs away. That's where it's useful. It's like a cup of sugar for your neighbor thing.
I guess I just never saw that. I would just see the guy would be like, the Christmas tree next to the fire station, it looks a little shabby. And I'm just like,
there's that.
Who cares about the Christmas tree next to the fire station?
There's one guy
nuts.
in Brentwood. I will admit, there's a contingent of fucking assholes there who are racist.
In Brentwood? No.
No. Yes. It's there, and they felt emboldened because of our president to do and say things. But there's so many funny kind of activist people there. Everybody's complaining about the homeless at the VA, right? The veterans who are on the side, and they put tents up for them, and they're trying to get them in, but of course the government has fucked it up. So, but the people of Brentwood, some of them are complaining. This is horrible. They're drug addicts, the crime and everything else. There's a guy who had signs made for the homeless that says humans live here, and put them on each tent and took pictures and interviewed these guys who served our country, and it changes your perspective.
Right.
And then I go down and we bring them food, or we bring them things that they need, while these right-wingers start going, then it's not even fair to call them right-wingers. It's just fucking assholes who don't want to take care of their military. So I don't know. You're right. You get sucked in, but there are some good things about it. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to air a grievance.
There's a little grievance there. It's good.
There's a little bit of an edge. But again, it's towards this, why can't we focus on helping people in our community rather than just calling out the shit?
The solution to homelessness is houses. It's as simple as that.
Right.
So, anyways.
Yes.
Let's not go too political. Let's get back to like dumb car things. Come on.
Anyway, and also I'll tell you else why I'm in a good mood. Dean Maroney, who I think when we last spoke about Dean, we were pissed because he didn't give us the money.
He'd stolen our money.
He stole the money. He gave it back. And Zuckerman sent the Hungarian over, and he gave us our money. But also, he killed it on this Land Rover Defender. He got me a Defender at Sticker. I'm driving it the last couple of days. I'm in love with
Tell
this
us
thing.
about this car.
I don't want to spend too much time in it because we'll review it later, but Lieberman has already validated everything I felt in it.
We called it our SUV of the year, and it's, again, you think it's a Defender and Land Rover, so you know it's going to be really good off-road. The shock of the vehicle is it's better on-road than almost anything else. Rides as well as a luxury car, if not a little bit better.
And that's
suspension's miraculous. Yeah,
I did the off road at Imperial Dunes, and now I'm doing the street part of it. And this was the first highway drive. I'm in love with it. Here's you know how crazy I am about speed bumps because I go over 10 every time up and down the
your
hill.
house is insane.
Yeah, and it's so long you don't feel them. You just glide right over them.
That was going to be my question to you, Johnny. What do you think of this size?
I think it's a great size, but because it's kind of long, but really, I talked to an engineer. I said, "How the hell did you make it so?" Because I did this video. We went on the Land Rover Experience Center, up in Carmel, and we were doing. I drove through 18,000 gallons of mud. I mean, it was nuts what we did.
Yeah.
And I said, "How the hell did you make it so good off road?" Usually, if it's good off road, it's a Jeep on road,
right?
And he said, with this, because we knew as a Defender we had to make it good off road. We push the wheels out as far as possible, so the wheelbase is much longer. Like if you had a vehicle with that size wheelbase, normally it would be 3 feet longer because of overhangs.
Right.
The wheels are almost at the corners, and then the wheels are pretty wide. They made them wider than a Range Rover, for instance. So a huge wheelbase and wide track is the key to a good ride. So you get that as a wonderful side effect.
And by the way, the bigness of it I like, and I can't tell if I have the Porsche Drive App 992 still. And by the way, if you're thinking about signing up for that, I have heard and confirmed the 911s are hitting it now in Los Angeles. So you want to sign up right now. They were held up, I guess, in customs or something, but they're putting a lot of 911s in a rotation. Download the Porsche Drive app, get it, and you'll get a 911. I'm giving that car back, I think, in a couple of weeks. But
the color of your car
is a chalk car.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the Land Rover.
Yeah, Pangea green.
Pangea,
green.
when the continents were one.
But it is big, like a truck. It's like the best parts of the Range Rover Sport, but also a little thinner and a little higher, like a truck, which I love.
Yes, and immediately, if you're very tall and like wearing hats, it's a perfect vehicle.
They put a Meridian sound system in it, I was going to get it because it doesn't have the Explorer pack yet, and I thought I would be upset about it, and Land Rover seems to be handling that. But I don't want to stop driving it. I'm so in love with this thing, and I'm so happy.
The engine's super cool.
Happy.
It's a hybrid. You know it's actually a hybrid? No one even knows that. It's a little mild hybrid.
I kept reading that, but I don't understand how that's possible.
It's just got a little motor between the engine and the transmission that just gives a little bit torque, so when you're taking off, you don't feel any turbo lag, so it works great.
So I've got the 395 horsepower one, so the 6-cylinder one. It's got enough. I just could not be happier. Today. Thank you.
And real quick, the Meridian sound system. I'm shocked at how good that stereo is.
Yeah.
Like for a car that isn't like $200,000, that's a good stereo.
Yeah.
Stock stereo,
I got a third row in there. Someday I'll have to be able to cart kids around.
The third row is the Defender 130 is coming. Let's put it that way. Don't leave the third row down.
I'm going to be putting a canoe on this thing and taking it up to Tahoe, Mammoth any minute. I'm so excited.
What about bunga time?
What do you mean?
Could you do bunga time in there?
Jonny Lieberman is the expert.
You're the expert on this?
Paul, you could do it in a 911. Come on, man.
Good Lord. Gentlemen. Good Lord. But Cole European, up by Canapa, I think these guys are. Cole European hooked me up with this. They got a delightful green license plate frame, too, that it's very festive.
So Dean finally came through.
Dean's the man. Dean delivered the car in person. And
thin and handsome and young.
Yeah, he did a great job. So he's back in doing well. He came up... I happened to be Zooming with Seinfeld because, of course, Seinfeld had about 3 or 4 cars being delivered through Dean. and had to. It was funny. Dean, this is what Dean wanted to know, and I don't think Jerry would be upset about it, but he wanted to know if he wanted to keep the delivery wrap on it full Zorzi, which I believe Jerry said yes. I want to drive it with all the white paper on it, right? And isn't that the picture he sent us?
Yes.
And I couldn't even tell what the car was. I'm like, what car is that? He goes, that's a 718 Spider. And I'm like, okay.
Nice car. I just had one last week. Very good car.
Yeah, they're cool. All right, well, let's get to our
Complaints.
listeners' complaints. And what I'll do is I'll just read these out. If they're not worth commenting on, you don't have to. There were many of them. I don't think we'll get to all of them, as we're already deep into this episode, 34 minutes. But we'll go a little longer. Mini Maxi Pugs, the random car bumpers lining the highway shoulder that memorialize accidents that occurred months or years ago.
I like that stuff.
I like that, yeah.
The only one I like
That
is
makes me laugh.
up on Angela's Crest, about a mile before Newcomb's. There's a good one because it's the only really, really dangerous spot heading up Angela's Crest.
Yes.
And it's a nice reminder to hit the brakes real hard there. That's the one that's very, very helpful.
I always think about the high school age kid coming home and the dad looking out in the driveway going, hey, what happened to my car? Where's the bumper? I got a little accident. Yeah, but where's the bumper in the front license plate? Oh, yeah. Oh, why? Do you need that? That's what because occasionally that plate is on the bumper on the side of the road. But again, I find that endlessly funny thinking about the conversation with the wife, husband, or son to the other. Sunroof delete, the 25-year import rule is his biggest grievance.
Yeah. It couldn't be the biggest, but it is annoying.
It is annoying. I mean, there's a lot of... Look at that Heritage Edition Defender, the last one, the green one, which we can bring in. I talked to a guy, import, but it's such a pain in the ass.
Federalized. It can take
And
time.
then it's in Mexico. We're going to have to register it at your house in Mexico.
I've got a car sitting in Germany right now.
What car? Oh, that
What
993.
A 993 Turbo X
car.
package.
What's the problem with it?
Because it's a 98, and I figured there'd be some way, I just didn't want to believe that 25 is 25, that maybe 23 is 25, that I'd be able to...
Did you talk to No Mass Tony?
Yes, I did. And No Man's Tony Rackley, his boss Robin, I have to say, they really do have a great team over at Cars USA, and there probably is a wiggle thing that I can figure out if I want to, but I may just cash out. I may cash
Flip
out.
it?
And
You can bring
flip
them
it.
in, I think, as like show and display.
Yeah, you can.
That would but that's going to since it's not already on the list. That car, the delay exists. I've got some other schemes.
Now you're writing it up, right? You
Yeah.
have to write why it's special and everything
right,
else.
and then so I've got a couple of other schemes. It is the greatest 993. It's in a metallic dark blue with sport seats, and it's, as I said, it's got the XCL package, European package, so it's got basically a GT2 engine in it.
Right.
Wow.
Good
Yeah,
car.
no, sweet car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very sweet. But that's not the biggest grievance.
No, that's
Excuse me. I hate rear view mirror cars. Says I hate when you push a meat thermometer in your ear, then you whack it with a ball peen hammer. Always trying to be funny. Graham loves cars. I have a grievance with renderings of new models before they are released. Enough with the renderings.
Yes.
I can get behind that. I don't like the renderings that turn out to not be the car, like the new Bronco. There was a cool Bronco that someone rendered that turned out, and I like the new Bronco, but it doesn't look anything like the rendering that someone wrote.
If I can maybe do a tangential grievance on that, I'm
Go
sick
ahead.
of the slow dance. So, and again, this probably just only affects like people like me, but like, Ford showed that Bronco a year ago. It's not going to be out for another year, and so I just constantly get bombarded with like, well, what about the Bronco? Like you said, the Defender. Why didn't you make the Defender or the Bronco the SUV of the year? I'm like, no one's driven it. No one's going to drive it till next July.
I drove the Bronco Sport.
No, that's not a Bronco. That's a Ford Escape with a Bronco body. But
It's
the Bronco,
pretty damn good for
I hear
what
it's
it
good.
is.
Yeah, I hear it's good. Yeah, but it's not the Bronco.
No,
but
I
I'm just saying,
understand.
like they will.
But it bodes well for the Bronco line. What I drove, I was so impressed with.
Yeah, I heard they made a big internal decision. Like, let's make it like
For beginners.
Well, but also like let's make it feel like a truck rather than feel like a car.
I drove down a slippery rock on it that I couldn't believe they were going to let me run down, and I
Yeah,
was
slick
fine.
rock, yeah.
I was stunned by it.
Anyways, my point is like stop showing cars a year and a half before you release them. It's
Right.
It's a tease. It's a tease.
Quantum Ocean Lawyer. I believe he used to work for you, right,
Yes,
Zuckerman?
Zan, yep.
Not cleaning the snow off your fucking car before going flying down the highway. Yes.
Large, big
He lives in
hunks of
Georgia,
snow.
right?
No, in
Where does he-
Georgia. They don't have snow in
I
Georgia.
didn't think so.
Ferris.
Where does he live?
He lives in Cumberland, Maryland.
That's
What's
pretty
snow?
annoying. I would be annoyed at that.
Yes. What's
No.
What is this snow you speak?
this
of?
snow business?
When I was a kid, that was the most exciting thing that happened. Is
When you
when it
could
came, it hit your dad's windshield, and he screamed, and you would laugh. I mean, again, I'm kind of entertained by that, but I'm guessing, okay, here's a little grievance that I'm inspired to tell. I was behind someone who gave me a squirt who cleaned their
Yeah.
windshield wiper
Hateful.
the other day, and I know she did it on purpose.
Oh.
yeah.
What were you doing to her, Ferriston?
I was in some sort of menacing vehicle. I'm sure it was the 992.
And were you menacing her?
I was not, but she was driving awful slow in the
Oh, we
passing
see.
lane.
The best was I'd love to meet this woman and shake her hand. It was years ago. I had it was a Cadillac CTS V wagon. This woman's in the fast lane in a Prius going like 60, and I came up behind her and she wasn't pulling over, so I just vroom, just as fast as I could, got around her, looked in my rear view, and she goes like this. So for you radio people, it's like
Give you the small weenie fingers.
Yes.
And I was like, that's awesome. That's the best.
I
thing
don't
she
mind
could have
that.
done.
That's a good joke.
No, it was great. It was great. It was
Yeah,
great.
but the slow driving.
No. She should be, lined up and shot. But
Okay,
that was
901
funny.
Sport, one of our long fans, been with us for a while. Porsche needs to take a class in naming cars. A car naming class.
No, disagree highly. Porsche actually names their freaking cars. You have the Boxster, the Cayman, the Macan, the Taycan, the Panamera. They have fucking names. It's great.
Except for the fact, I think what this person might be saying is Taycan's a little bit of a mouthful, but also the Turbo
But it's so
Taycan is a little...
The Turbo S.
The Turbo S, that does bother me.
But not as bad as maybe a Ferrari. I really thought they missed the mark on LaFerrari. I thought that sounded,
LaFerrari is a
sounded
bit
like a little drink, a cocktail I would get at a bad
LaFerrari's
hotel.
A bit much.
Yeah.
No, I just like the fact
like
they
a-
have names. Like go ahead and tell me a Mercedes name
it's
or
not numeric.
or a BMW name these days.
I just gave you the leave me be hand with BMW.
Yeah.
Oof.
So it's
Horrible cars these days.
I like Porsche's name again. Yes, Turbo S for the non-turbo. They're all turbos now. Porsche,
Yes.
that's the thing. So everything's a turbo. So what do you do? Or electric.
Damn it, Patton says the BMW M3 M4 grill styling and vomit emoji. Also, can we have a feats of strength as well? Yes, we will do that. But yeah, what do we think about that BMW M3 M4 front grill? Right?
Give it to us.
It's bad. I don't know. I actually haven't seen one in the flesh. I drove a M440i, which is almost the M3 grill. And in person, because it's rounded in a way, like the hood curves or the grill curves over the hood. It's not as horrible as you think in pictures, but the M4 is. I don't know. It looks like two beaver tails. It's just nuts.
Yeah.
And it's not all that functional, is it?
I doubt
But
it.
won't we
it's
adjust
it's
to
a
it?
styling thing.
Don't we always?
So I'll say this. So the 7 Series and the X7, they both came out with humongous grills 2 years ago, right?
Right.
And they were shocking. Now I see X7s. I don't even notice the grill anymore. But I see the 7 Series and the grill is ridiculous still. So I think on an SUV, because you have so much other visual mass, that the giant grill kind of gets buried. But on a sedan, there's not much there. And I think you'll always just see this insane face.
Yes.
It's just insane. It's
All
just
right,
insane.
here's a good one. Major Desmo, and I agree with this 100%. The auto stop start functions that you can't disable.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like the ones that you can't. I think this thing should never be enabled. You should enable it. It should always be disabled, and you should have the option. I don't, especially in a McLaren. Like I was in the Senna. There was one in the McLaren Senna.
Come
And I
on.
come to the first time driving, it just turns off. I'm like, what? Excuse me.
Yeah.
No,
it's,
I don't want that. Is that like a government regulation that it has to be there?
You know what it's for? It's for in Europe, not on the U.S. cycle, but on the European emission cycle for when they calculate miles per gallon. It gets them like an extra mile per gallon by just having start stop.
Wow.
That much.
Yeah, Yeah, just the way they calculate it. And again, remember with these, the government doesn't even actually test these things. When they do, it's rare. They just say like, make sure it passes all these things. So
Right.
it's just I believe that's why they're so everywhere. But what I like is
couldn't we have them not on?
Well, then out of the GT 991 GT cars, they weren't there.
No, they weren't.
No,
But I just mean,
probably
even
none of
in,
the
you know,
GTs,
every time I get in something new or I'm driving a press car, it turns off, and I would rather have the option of turning it on rather than having to figure out how to turn it off.
it's going to be a default. I mean, look, gasoline engines are going to go away in about 10 years, so it won't be an issue. But what I like is on manual cars, if you just push the clutch in, that automatically turns the car back on. So you don't have to even worry about the button.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super
Good
annoying.
complaint.
Yeah, and it's real quick. It's especially annoying when it's hot out, which we get a lot in
Right.
LA,
And your
the
AC.
air conditioner turns off when you're sitting at a light for 2 minutes, like roasting. So
Dial and
that.
Bezel, which is a bring a trailer startup for watches. Why can't the watch companies be as innovative as the car companies? Triple exclamation point. I don't know enough
can't
about
answer
watch
that.
innovation to really
They
comment
can.
on
It's
this.
just that no one can afford the innovation.
Yeah.
Like what was it, IWC? They make the triple second split or whatever.
Right.
You know, it's $300,000.
Harder to enjoy that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
And watches don't do that. And again, like the iWatch, what's it called? The Apple Watch. That's pretty
Yes.
innovative, but no one wants to wear it. Or
No.
dorks want to wear it, but
I still don't know how you use that thing.
it's
So wait,
just, you know what I use it for? I have one, and it's paired to my phone. So when I lose my phone, I know where the watch is. So I hit like find the phone, and it makes the phone beep.
They won't be happy until we have Apple products strapped to every part of our body, walking around and into our brain. Chili Palmer 86, touchscreens in cars. What's wrong with switches and dials that I can use without looking? Well, a lot. I like a good touchscreen.
A good touchscreen's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I don't like a cursor system, though. I don't like in that, you and I were talking about the G-Wagon, which is, I love the G-Wagon, but I can't live with a cursor device.
The new one is touchscreen.
The
new one is
The one I just drove didn't have a
maybe
touchscreen.
I'm totally wrong. Yeah,
I think you are.
I could be wrong. Like I just drove the Ferrari Roma, which is all touch. There's one knob.
Right.
It's the Manatino thing. Every like the mirrors are touch. It's crazy.
And
It's not good. Like the touchscreen
Right.
for the radio is fine. Touchscreen for the AC is fine. The start button's touch, and it's like, I think like
do you
controls.
care? I mean, the car looks so stunning.
It's gorgeous. I think control. Here's what I'm going to say. Controls that control functions of the car, like the gas pedal and the steering wheel, and
Yeah.
like the mirrors, should be analog. And
Yes.
if it's stereo, seat massage, that can be touch.
Yes, that's
How's
good.
that? How's
You're
that?
right.
All right.
No, exactly.
Yay.
Yeah, I don't want to adjust my engine at all with a touchscreen.
Yeah.
I want that to be a little knobby.
And it's funny with the
or
Ferrari,
button.
like the one thing they left is the most important one, is the Manatino, which does the modes.
Right.
But like, if they know enough to leave that, why not leave like the start button? Because it's
Mechanical,
cool to like physically
yes.
press a start button.
Right.
So
What
Yeah.
does it have? It doesn't have
it's
a
a
start
touch. It's a start button on the bottom of the steering wheel, and you touch it. But it's like it doesn't always work. Like a button always works.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's like because sometimes you touch. This
Yeah,
maybe a
you
little
want to
off.
have a tactile click
Yeah.
to start a car.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Agreed.
So
Yeah, yeah,
and like
yeah.
the mirrors are just weird. Like you're trying to adjust the mirrors, so you got to look down to find the touch, and like you're looking at the right mirror and you're using your left thumb, and it would be good to be a physical device, and it's a touch thing. And if you're doing it wrong, it's just annoying. It's just annoying. So
Wow. People that think James Moran, people that think Tom Cruise's rant was unreasonable. That's his grievance. Now, this is a very complicated thing to unwind.
is it?
It is, because Tom Cruise is not wrong on his set, right? You may not know it, but I'm sure he's the king of his little production company and his film and what Tom wants, which means he's also responsible. OSHA. Anybody dying on his set is his personal responsibility. So he's under a lot of pressure. And, you don't hear about it, but on these sets, there's COVID around, and these people are shooting, and then suddenly they're shut down, and you don't hear. I hear
There's
about
a way
a few
to
of them.
lash people that sounds
You don't want-
better than he pulled it off.
But
He
wait,
sounded like
hold
a-
on, Zuckerman, before you interrupt. We can take up that side of it. That's why I want to unwind it. His rant, though, the personal responsibility, and you must feel it as someone who runs a business, Zuckerman. You have people to take care of, and if you had a couple of idiots walking around,
It's happened.
It's happened, right?
Yes.
And in a business like yours, I'm sure with his people, you say you're friends. It's like us. You don't want people to die. So when you see idiots who aren't wearing masks, you get pissed. And I guarantee you that's not the first time he yelled, right? Now, what I think you had a complaint with the way he said it. Let's talk about that for a second.
His tone of voice, the timbre of his voice. He sounds like a little boy in his dad's suit trying to yell.
He's older than us,
but it doesn't come off like a real man with real nuggets, with real responsibility. It's like he's acting a role.
It's so funny. So remember that book Clear? I think it was called.
Yes, of course.
It came out about
there were two good Scientology books.
Okay, now we're going to veer into the other piece.
I was just going to say, because like the head of Scientology, and we're probably going to get shot for talking about this on the podcast, or sued. But Miscavige, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Apparently, this is how he treats everybody. He just talks.
Yes.
That's his way
I've
of communicating.
heard about this rumor.
It's just the motherfuckers and dressing down.
Yes,
and this and that.
That's a rumor.
Well, it's in the book.
I don't know.
It's in the book. It's pretty well documented. So there was a bit of that, but at the same time, like, good for Tom, man. Like, good for Tom. Like, it's
a tricky bit of business because he's one of the greatest actors. We love his movies to death, yet he has this personal thing going on with Scientology that you can't get behind in any way because it's a cult. So it's a very complicated thing to unwrap. Here's the other little piece that I'll add to it is I've been at the front of shows. I host shows that I also executive produce, which, it's a unique storm of anxiety that you have to be prepared for it, and it does lead to blow-ups. It just does, whether you have them in private with your executive producer or not. You're reading about yourself, things don't go wrong, and it gets to you at least once a week, and you have to be ready for that. So I related to his rant just in that way. Like, I never yelled at my crew like that I don't recall. I yelled at an editor or two.
Very few people are capable of yelling like that. That's
right,
good
but
yelling.
I related to that anxiety and that blow. I've seen that happen with people I've written for before where they come to set, something goes wrong, and that's just the last thing they can handle, and the show's not working, and
I've never
scream.
Much lower stakes in my case, but I've been involved with making shows for a long time.
Right.
And sometimes you just lose it.
You lose it, right?
Because you're just people are putting you under crazy stress. Everything's going wrong, but you still have to get in front of the freaking camera and smile or whatever.
Now here's the thing. I do know, and I don't know it, but I do know it. Nobody's sitting there with a recorder. If this hasn't happened a bunch before,
of course, and yes,
right?
He's probably mic'd
They're
for
gonna
sound.
go. If he does that again, I'm gonna hit the red button.
Well, I mean, look. The other thing is he's probably mic'd for sound. It's probably right off the sound guy's box.
No, that sounded like
it did sound like a cell phone.
Look, that's a pretty tight set. I know some of the people involved in that. That's a pretty tight operation there.
When you're going to yell at your staff, and sometimes you have to, but you don't ever say, look how important I am. I talk to heads of studio. I talk to insurance companies. I'm so important.
Yeah, but
don't you know?
No, that's not what he's saying. He's saying the stakes are pretty damn high, and I have personally vouched and spent a lot of money to do this thing we probably shouldn't be doing.
Why did he say that?
And he did. I'm trying to keep you guys working. I'm trying to keep everybody going here, and that part of it is true.
I think about 85% of that rant was good. I think a little bit like the sound guy who's making $20 an hour or whatever doesn't really want to hear about how you're talking to heads of studios. It's sort of like, what? What does that mean?
Yes, because
what it means is you wouldn't be working right now.
I understand that, but
I
if
understand
I didn't vouch for all of you, so can you please do your part?
Right, but he's not talking to the audience the right way. You can still call him a bunch of fuckheads.
I'm not saying he should have yelled. I agree with you there. But
I think it's good. I think that more people should be acting like that with COVID. I think that there's way too much
I did on Next Door.
idiots. But I mean, I get this all the time. Like those Porsches I was driving, there were some pictures of me that I posted where I'm standing out next to the Porsche wearing a mask, and these guys are like, "Oh, look at you, you scared little child! You like take your mask off, free yourself." And I'm like, "Fuck yourself! Like, I don't want to die. I don't want to fucking die."
Fear is healthy. They make fear is a healthy thing. It's what keeps us alive. It's why we have it.
I don't want to kill my wife.
Why do you think we have that emotion? If not to survive danger.
I've had 5 COVID employees, and it's been very, very upsetting and very stressful.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure.
not good.
I'm sure.
All right, let's get back to cars. All right, flat 6 says people who continue to poop emoji the 996 like I just did. It's not 2016 anymore. Pricing is on a huge upswing right now. Tell them to move on to something else. Okay, move on.
He changed his opinion halfway through the sentence.
Right.
I love the 996. They're great. I think they look
There you
cool.
go.
They're awesome. All prices of Porsches go up. I was just hanging out this morning with some dudes. They had like speedsters that are $400,000, like a 57 speedster, like yours, you bastards. Anyhow, but the prices are out of control. It's a 60 horsepower car or something.
Right.
J. Rowland 26, you want to hear another next door rant? No. You just heard it. It's there. That's visit my neighborhood on January 6th when I'm reinstated.
Oh, you're going to go back? Are you going to go back?
Of course.
He's marked it on the calendar.
You've learned nothing. You've learned nothing, Spike.
No.
To the minute.
Because
That's right. 4:02 p.m.
okay, so it's really pathetic, and I am going to admit it, because obviously we all have social media channels. We talk to people, and I have a small measure of fame from a variety of projects I've done. It means so much more when the old ladies in my neighborhood DM me and go, keep at it, Sonny. Oh, that was a good line, Spike. What do you do?
You found your audience.
That's the audience I like. I like this audience of 10 people that watch me ruin my reputation in my neighborhood. Okay, here we go. Unusual Tom Jones says the CARB bureaucracy of not wanting newly imported vintage cars to be legal in California without passing $10 smog tests. That's about money, right?
Well, I mean, it sounds like he's complaining, like, why can't we just have anything polluting that we want to have? And the reason is they're trying to, not have people die from asthma and stuff like that.
Did you grow up in L.A.?
I did.
So you remember what smog was like?
I remember. I'm old enough to remember,
an hour ago?
A little bit. Yeah. No, a little bit of
I
the
saw
late
it today.
70s and early 80s. No, but
smog days from school
it
kind
was,
of thing.
We didn't. I grew up in Thousand Oaks, but we'd come in to go see a Dodger game or something, and it was just it was so bad. It was so bad. It was gray. It was a gray city. It was crazy.
Voice O Flam, and I did invite
Voice of Phlegm?
Flam. I invited anyone to, whatever you want. It's a grievance about anything. This is, I share this one. It's okay if you aren't self-made, but don't try and pretend you hit a triple when you were actually born on third base.
I agree.
That is the pretending.
I agree.
That's the pretending you didn't have the silver spoon.
But is he making that comment about us?
No.
I read that and I said,
No, you're personalizing it.
I'm just curious.
We know people like that, and we always encourage them to just be who they are. But yeah, don't. I tried to actually turn that into a Seinfeld story, because I knew someone when I first moved to LA that was worth a B, the spawn of a big B, who constantly complained about money, and I would just look at him across the table and go, "You don't even fucking know.
You never had your
You're
back
not.
up against
If you're
it.
doing this to try to be like us, just be a friend. You'll be like us, but don't pretend like that, because that's not even remotely true. You're not up at night worrying that, as you said, Zuckerman, the earth was going to open up and swallow you financially,
Yes, that's
and
why I was
spit you out into a shopping cart.
So I had, years ago when I lived in San Francisco, I had 2 roommates, and they were both kind of came from money, let's say. And so one of them, she had other problems, but she was, we're splitting the phone bill back then, because it was before cell phones, and I'm watching her do it, and she's got down to there's 5 cents she's got to split 4 ways, and I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna say her name, but if it comes down to a penny, I'll just give me the extra penny. I'll pay the penny. Don't kill yourself. And she flips out, throws her hands on the table. She's like, Johnny, I only have $100,000. And at the time, I had $400. And so the other roommate, who I forgot was way richer, I'm like, oh my God, she was crying. I only have $100,000. And he looks at me deadpan. He's like, I'd cry if I only had $100,000.
Yes.
So, there's degrees of all that.
There is. But look, who doesn't want their kids to not have to worry about money? I would do it for my kids.
Oh, I mean,
so I don't begrudge you having money. I don't care. I think it's a nice thing that your parents did, right? We just happen to not have those dads,
didn't have
right?
those things, but now I've wrecked my kids as much as I can. That's
correct.
how it happens.
Yes, it does happen that way. When my kids said, I don't even know what I want for Christmas, I went, oh, God damn it. That's your pressure? You don't know what to get for Christmas?
But here's the other thing about money. Like, just by a weird stroke of 2020, my wife and I financially have had our best year ever, right?
Congratulations.
It was nice.
Now, in a year when people are having their worst year ever.
Yeah. But I remember, not long ago when one month I was $400 short on rent. It was
right.
I was just short.
Yeah.
But that said, I just wrote a check to the IRS.
Right.
Oh my!
Painful.
I mean, for me, it was. You guys would probably laugh at it.
Here's
but
the fucking grievance I have about the IRS.
Yeah, here's a good one. Because I have to write one soon too,
this one,
and I'm not happy about it.
This one, I'm like, you're kidding. He's like, no. He's like, this is what you owe. I'm like, no. He's like, do you know how much money you made? I'm like,
How is it that they always send me a bill after I do my tax return? I send them the check, and then they always tell me what I owe on top of it. Why do I even bother doing the tax return if they know what I owe?
Dude,
just send me a fucking bill, and then I'll write the check, because that's what ends up happening.
Well, we got this year's done, and then we got a supplemental notice.
Right.
From 2018, they're like,
right.
We'd like another 16,000.
What?
Yeah.
And
I got a 50,000.
Yeah, and
Jesus.
And then my lawyer wife, luckily, was like, I think we can get it down to 11.
And was she able to do that?
I don't
How
know.
did she do that?
We mailed a check, but we'll see if we hasn't cleared yet. Well, she was just like, there was one penalty was like gross underreporting or something like that.
Really?
But it was
a real cheater, huh? Now I respect you, Lieberman.
No, but it was one of those. I'll tell you what happened.
Now I respect you.
I bought a house, so we borrowed against my 401k. Now you have to pay a tax on that. I was stupidly, because my accountant's like, "Oh, you thought you wouldn't have to pay a tax?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're an idiot. Yeah, of course you have to pay a tax." And then she got a W-2 that showed up late. It just showed up
gross underreporting.
Yeah, so we're like, we're not going to pay that. And there's a couple others.
Gross underreporting.
You know what lawyers can do, right?
Gross underreporting.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Aggressive underreporting.
Where are all this day in automotive history wants to know, where are all the new small trucks at? I don't know. We don't want
They're
those.
everywhere.
I thought
Rangers.
Ford Ranger, there's a new Nissan Frontier, there's the Chevy, the GMC, Toyota still makes a Tacoma. Like there's tons of small trucks. They're not as small as
they're not 80 small mini trucks.
Yeah, but you won't die if you get in an accident. I mean, they meet some kind of crash standard. Yeah.
Remember the seats, the Subaru Brats with the seats in the bed?
God, yeah. No seatbelt.
Flung on the freeway.
Scott H. Duke, why do idiots keep taking pictures of cars they are selling with their dumbass thumb over the license plate? You drive on public roads. What's the secret? What does he mean by that? They blur the license plate?
They blur the plate, yeah.
I don't get that either. And I've been told we're trying to protect you.
Some people
so if we take a picture of your car.
Like, a guy's going to see your car for sale, hack into the DMV, figure out your license plate, get your address. But
do what with it?
I don't know.
Come and steal it?
Home invasion? I don't know.
The home invasion in my neighborhood was pretty genius, and Ring, of course, covered the whole thing. So it was, they're always right off Sunset, because right on Sunset they can get right on at 405, and it was
sit in traffic.
Listen, only in L.A., and I know you guys are all going to react to this. They drove up in a Mercedes, the home invaders, outside the gate of this house, girl driving, two guys get out, jump the fence, kick the kitchen door in, run through kick the garage door in, run through the garage. So angle on the car pulling up, angle the guys in the driveway, angle the guys running through the garage, guns waving, just grabbing stuff. They're in and out in like 10 minutes. Fast. That's how it happens. It's like that. Right? They're not tracing license plates and going, okay, we're going to hit this house. And by the way, it was at 8 a.m. This poor family has to endure this thing happening at 8 a.m.
Oh, they were home.
They were home.
Oh, that sucks.
That sucks.
But it was, it was a spree crime. It was a pop-up fast bing boom.
Must be a hell of a good feeling getting away with that.
What do you mean? I don't
Well,
think.
you know,
I
that's
think they didn't, by the way. But
That's
I
crime.
think they got
Criminals,
caught.
the adrenaline.
yes, Rolex weightless. Well, of course, I agree with you, Hasta. But I don't think I can publicly complain about it. But yes, I think that's one of the dumbest things a company does, which is make the people who buy their watches wait years to get them.
Right.
That is not
Take
breeding
their money.
desire. That is breeding resentment
Sort
and
of like
anger.
Ford and the Bronco.
Yeah.
How everyone
Why are they doing that?
Well, for the first edition Broncos, they took I don't know if they took complete payment or they took like $3,000, but they took money from a lot of people, and then the car has now been delayed twice.
Well, don't we have Elon Musk to thank for that? I mean, isn't that the situation with him?
Probably.
Cybertruck folks, have they got their
that
trucks
was
yet?
$100 deposit.
It's $100. It's still money, Mr. Lieberman. I know that's not money to you.
It's not earning interest. Yeah, well,
you tax thief.
Tax thief. Gross offender.
I know none of that matters to you. Why are they ever going to get that Cybertruck out?
No.
They're not, right?
No, they will. They will. It'll be a little different than the prototype they show, but yeah, they will. Tesla has a way of like showing a car, and then 3 years later, the car comes out.
I had a guy pick me up yesterday in an Uber Model 3, and it was really great.
Yeah.
And I said, this is the best Uber ride I've ever been in. You know, we roll the windows down. I just had to do it because I had to get one place to another for 10 minutes, and 95'd up. And we had such a nice ride. I really loved being in the back of that car.
You should check out the Model Y.
And then, but wait.
Oh.
And then I arrived at my home, and I tried to open the door, and he goes, yeah, that doesn't work. I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, and he's one of these Tesla guys. Well, a lot of people open and closing that door. And I go, yeah, in this new car, I'm sure. He goes, yeah. And I go, well, how long before you get it fixed? Well, I'm waiting on the part, and then I'm going to fix it myself. How long have you been waiting? A few weeks. But I didn't like the idea that and when we were looking at the Model 3 at the mall before Erica got her 530 iPerformance, that was the problem with the car. I tried to open the same door, it wouldn't open, and I tried to do two other things, and the girl said, well, there's 30,000 people a day coming through here, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
No, you want doors to open. You should check out the Model Y, because it's kind of like the slight SUV version of the Model 3, but it's better in every way.
I want to like
good.
them.
It's really good.
This is a great cigar, by the way. You were right about it.
I'm dying.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
really
was
good.
being very arrogant dismissive and arrogant, but I am really enjoying this cigar.
Yeah, they're all incredible, and he makes like a zillion different flavors. And
now he's going to make a Spike's Car Radio cigar. Is that what you're saying?
If we want to, yeah.
But I don't want to give them away. I want to sell them.
Yeah,
Zuckerman want to sell things.
Okay, so here's how that works. You can do it. We won't talk about it on the air. There's a way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing cigar.
They're amazing.
I'm very happy with
we
it.
We call these Zuckerman Schlong cigars, and then
You probably could.
we can give those away.
Yeah, that's just
a little
what the
rock
people
and roll
want.
would be good, but I don't think we want to call them Zuckerman Schlongs. First of all, they would not be this long and thick. They would not taste like
They would
this.
be just as tasty, Ferriston.
They would be this dry and able to light and smoke. All right. So let's stay on Tesla. Cycle a Step says, I hate it when people say Tesla isn't a real company. They make amazing cars and have changed an industry. We can argue over their valuation, but no doubt they are making groundbreaking cars. All right.
Yeah,
And we agree.
Yeah.
We like it.
Yeah, their quality control could be better, but their products are good.
We like the Tesla stock a little more than like the cars.
Jesus, right?
Talking about money bags.
I can't.
Gross reporter over there.
Hey, that's not true.
Hey, all I know
that
is
not true.
I can't buy Tesla stock because I wouldn't do that. Unethical. However, it's getting added to the S&P 500 on Monday. Yeah, I mean, I could. No one would stop me, but I'm not going to.
Because it would look like you're trying to pump your own stock.
I mean, look, I remember when we voted the Model S Car of the Year back in like September of 2011. There was 11 of us in the room, and we were the first ones to drive the thing. We actually had like Musk's personal car, and we're like, this is absolutely incredible. And the stock was like $19 a share, and we're like, we could get in. And I didn't do it, but like, within a month it was 80 a share.
Oh boy.
And then,
And now.
but it's being added to the S&P 500. So
there you go.
So I own some index funds.
You'll get some more money.
I'm Tyler Hill. I totally agree with you on this one, and we were laughing about it, me and my son, the other day. People who brake while driving straight or on a turn with nothing in front of them.
Oh, the worst.
I've seen.
And
What
then
about
I started
uphill
yelling-
breakers?
Oh, uphill.
Uphill breakers.
But around turns on Sunset, people hogging that left lane and then braking before. I started yelling in the car, "Take the turn, don't break the turn." And Jack was laughing, and I go, "That's it, right?" And he goes, "Yes, you should take the turn, don't brake." People are they're driving 40, and they feel like they're going to tip over in their sedan, taking a little left, like, curve.
Yeah.
Take the turn, don't break the turn.
I mean, that's a larger issue of, like, why can't people drive? Why?
Right.
Like, everyone should just go take racing classes when they're, like, 14. Like, learn how to race. And
Someone here did mention that driver's ed should be a little harder. That passing the driving test in California should be harder. And it shouldn't be. I remember when I took that test, it was all about memorization. None of it was a driving test. It was just about, do you remember the rules?
And if you remember, or at least in California, the driving test is nothing. You drive around, like, the suburbs at 35 miles an hour.
Right.
And you got to make sure you stop before a stop sign, which is, like, anybody can do that. But, like, learn. Like, do it like they do in Germany, where, it costs money to do, and you have to do it on a manual car, and part of the test happens at night.
And you got to take it every 5 years.
Well, I don't like that part, but yeah.
Except if you're an automotive journalist.
That's right.
Or you have a podcast about cars. Werewolf 4805 says the fake gloss black finish in luxury cars that always dulls and scratches and has fingerprints on it and then cracks and fades. That fake wood, that burl, I don't know. Why is that stuff in there?
The wood or the black plastic?
It evolved into black plastic because of the wood.
Touch screens. I think they were all wanted to do, like, black plastic.
No, we could get rid of that stuff.
Yeah, no, car interiors could be a lot better. But, a lot of it actually has to do with crash worthiness. You can't have, like, huge hunks of metal that could, like, split your skull and stuff like that. So, although plastic will split your skull pretty good.
In the spirit of Frank Costanza, I got a real problem with people who stop short at intersections, says Ian JB4. Yes.
Good point.
No urgency to getting where they're going. They're like, it's about to turn yellow. That and people who slow down for the green light at the intersection, I see a lot these days.
Bad Good Samaritans.
Yeah.
Stopping to wave somebody through into an accident.
Again, if you were taught how to race, go as fast as you can until you can't.
Right.
Like active driving.
Let's see. Smog test.
People really hate these smog tests.
Oak Logan says, not a grievance, but think the possibilities if you, Jerry, Barry Martyr, wrote a Zuckerman origin story cartoon.
Not a bad idea.
He was hatched.
I'm working with Barry on something right now, and it is super fun. He was originally part of the B-movie team, but he's clinically insane. You've met him in the funniest possible way. So his mind is an uncontrollable spout of jokes and insanity, and it's hard to go, hey, let's stay on subject. But yeah, he's the perfect guy to bring into this. But it would end up with jokes like Mark Twain with knockers is one of his favorite jokes to pitch, which is a one-man show of a Mark Twain actor that has breasts that walks out onto a stage. He's constantly joking about the Bob Crane murder scene. It doesn't matter whether we're writing a movie about bees or anything else. He'll go, well, maybe Spike, maybe suddenly the bee lands in the Bob Crane murder scene. Remember when Bob Crane was murdered and those pictures of the blood everywhere? And then he'll laugh, but he's seriously pitching it. And then he's also obsessed with MetLife windbreakers. He goes, well, what if this guy's wearing a MetLife windbreaker? And I'm like, the insurance company? He goes, yeah, the windbreaker, the MetLife windbreaker. That he tried to force in a B-movie pretty much every day we wrote it. And the argument was, Jerry would say, there's no MetLife and there's definitely no windbreakers in a beehive. And then Barry would go, well, they're driving those little cars, Jerry. That was your idea. Don't they have car insurance? And wouldn't one of those insurance agencies be MetLife? Okay, and wouldn't they have promotions? Wouldn't they have a MetLife windbreaker? And the other day I bought him a MetLife windbreaker. I saw it on eBay and came full circle on that one.
Do you want to tell us the story with the towels?
What is the towels?
You remember when you would go to hotels when you were doing B-movie?
Oh, I think I've told that story. It's a great joke, but it's a Louis C.K. joke that I played on Barry. It's that you can, when you're going, he was doing it with comedians, and I tried it on Barry, and it worked really well. When we were flying to New York to work with Jerry twice a week, and we'd stay there for a week and write, and we'd stay at the Riga Royale Hotel. And Louis says, this is what you do. He goes, the second you check in, count to 10 when you get to your room and make sure your friend is there. And then call up and go, excuse me, sir, did you just check in? And you go, yeah, you have to get a good voice going. That's kind of, you won't recognize, which I did. I said, yes, is this Mr. Martyr? He goes, yes, this is the front desk. Could you just bring your towels down to the front desk? We've got fresh towels for you. I forgot to tell you about that. And then you rush down. You rush down to the lobby. And then who comes around the corner with his towels? Barry. And he's talking to the check-in lady. And there's a line. And she's looking at him like, what? And he sees me laugh. It's a great joke that you can play with your friends.
Real quick, though. If somebody called me and said, bring your towels down, I wouldn't do that.
But you have, I left out that you have, it's a net. We've all just, I work with a net who just checked you in. That's right. Yeah. Could you just bring your towels down? It's so unexpected that you think it's just part of the check-in procedure.
No, I would be like, no, you can come get my towels.
I'm sorry, we can't do that. Not if you can just bring them down. There won't be a problem.
No, that's okay. I'm not going to shower right now.
Well, yeah, but it works.
Turn down service.
Just try it.
All right.
Just try it.
Probably won't.
Okay, for Paul. How do you keep your law partners from fighting over the money? That's not a grievance. Paul is the money guy at the firm. He's the guy who keeps the business going. He's the manager of the money. Imagine that.
And why do you think this person think we're not arguing about money?
But that's why you love the money. Give me the money, because you are the money guy at the firm.
I have to keep stoking the furnace with the money. I shovel the money into the burning furnace
to pay the overhead.
It requires more and more all the time. Horrifying amounts.
Untalented highway drivers, people looking down on quartz watches. I understand that. I have a couple of quartz watches. I have a Timex Q. I love that watch.
I'm a G-Shock guy at heart, so I have a ton of them. I'm a G-Shock guy. I have a ton of them. They're great.
Yeah, look, watches are really stupid. The expensive ones. A $10 Timex will do you just fine, or just your phone. Why is there no B-Movie 2, says Taylor 356? Because Zuckerman would need to be in it. We would make up some killer bees headed by a guy named Zuckerman, for sure, who took over the hive. That would be our B-Movie 2 story.
What's the B-Movie? I don't...
B-Movie.
B-Movie we wrote in 2006. It's an animated show. Your kids are young. Now's the time to show them. It's not a scary beat in it, but there's a very strange relationship between a bee and a beautiful woman.
Okay. I'll check it out. It's on the list.
And I think people mock it because of that.
Right after we get through 18 Land Before Times, we'll get to
in
the
2017, it was the biggest movie in social media, B-Movie 2, because people were putting the script on shirts and texting the entire script in miniature form to each other, and it became this thing. So,
what year did it come out?
I thought 2006.
I took my son to the Chinese theater. We watched that together at the Chinese theater, and it was a great experience. I fondly remember watching that with him.
I remember trying to convince Jerry that this is a movie that kids were going to watch, and he said, "No, it's good. It's the adults. It's my guys." I go, "Jerry, it's cartoon characters," and it seemed to resonate mostly. And I'm just basing this on my kids when they were 2 and 3, on Cartoon Network. I don't know what cartoon this is, but there was a mean character called Rotten Tomato, and it would make my kids, my oldest, cry at 3, right? So parents who had kids like that loved B-Movie because there wasn't an evil character in it that scared their kids. But I don't know that I would hold it up as a paragon of good film.
Okay. Well, we'll
people seem to like it. Why is there not going to be a 2? Because it took 3 years of looking at these stupid drawings and going in, and it was hard. And I don't think Jerry wants to do it. I over and over again have tried to convince him to have a B-Movie 2 script cover page printed up and just be carrying it in a place he knows he's going to get hit by the paparazzi just to make people crazy. But I can tell you, I don't think it will ever happen. I don't think it will ever happen. I don't know.
Well, if anyone from Pixar is listening, we need another Monsters movie quickly.
That would be
Because
good.
if I have to watch either of those again, I'll kill myself.
Isn't it crazy how your kids can watch the movies over and over? They never get tired of the movie.
It's so weird.
Isn't it weird?
But you know what? I did that, and my sister did that. My sister watched that movie Oliver, the musical, like I think every day for 100 years is my memory of it. And I watched some like robot movie, I think every day for a year. So yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot of people talking about people swerving onto the highway as they enter and jumping in front of you. They have to get left fast for some reason.
Well,
Good. Wait, they're doing something fast?
Yes.
Fast is good. Go fast. Yeah, that's good.
I don't
good.
like that either.
I love
like
it.
But you do it.
No, no, go fast. Go fast.
No,
We
people
all do. We get across. I want to get
tend
across
to
quick.
wait till it opens to the left of me and then jump out of the lane with a signal. I don't just jump across 8 lanes. What's the rush?
Well,
There's no rush.
I enter the freeway at freeway speed.
Oh, I like or faster.
Yeah.
Isn't that part of the game?
That actually drives me out. Here's a grievance. So, you know, the little on-ramp I get on when I'm going up to Angeles Crest, you know, you get onto a freeway and the speed limit's 65. No one has ever gone over 40 on the on-ramp. So when they get on the freeway, they're going 40.
Right.
Like, why not go 70 on the on-ramp?
Right. And that's up there with the slowing to change lanes. No, do not slow to change lanes.
Just go.
Go. Step on the gas.
Yeah, although I will say LA is better than a lot of cities for going fast on freeways. Because you ever been to Seattle? Holy cow. Speed limit is 65. Everyone goes 60 and there's no traffic.
Really?
I think they're stoned or Canadian or
I
something.
drove to Orange County the other day. Everyone was going 90.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I love it. It's great.
Jeff Ruffleson, Nextdoor users that borrow my precious time to introduce themselves to the neighborhood, and then Nextdoor thinks that post is worthy of an email alert. So he gets a notification that Jessica has joined Nextdoor. But that's up to you. That's your problem. Turn off your notifications. Then you won't get that stuff.
I'm unfamiliar, Ferriston.
I don't have. Do you allow notifications for any apps? I none, except for maybe Waze and Calendar. I don't let people tap me on the shoulder on my phone. I wouldn't get anything done.
I have like some stock app that tells me how much money I'm losing today.
Oh, really?
They won't pass stimulus of motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I have that one. I got to get off. I got to stop looking at the stock market.
Nash Brishes says car journalists who are on camera sliding a car sideways and then say, "Look how much grip this has." Does anybody do that?
Well, I think they're unrelated. Like a car can have a lot of grip, and then you can still slide it.
I see.
Yeah, but how's that a grievance? Like if you can drift a car well, that's good. You have good throttle control. It's a good skill.
Lord and Savior Jerry Seinfeld, not the real Jerry Seinfeld. We are not all in this together, in quote. Stop saying that. That is something Jerry would get mad about. His all in it together. No, we're not all in it together. I worked hard not to be in it with you. Is that so wrong? I'm sorry. I thought that's what we were supposed to do. I thought we were supposed to make money here and do well. Sorry. I didn't know the game was different. You're all in it with you. You're all in it.
And
I'm
what would Jay
somewhere else.
say? How do Jay?
Yeah, you gotta understand what they're saying, Jerry. They want you to be a man of the people, take a picture, shake a hand. Would it hurt you? These are your fans, and you're making money. Shut up, Jay. That's why you don't know how to wear a mask. I see you with the Cars and Coffee. It's half hanging off your face, your nose hanging out. You're talking about some McLaren P1. You can't even sit in because of your back. No, Jerry, there you go again. All right, whatever.
This is good.
Yeah, he's good.
These are the real conversations I witness. Amplified times 8. Well, I think we're out of them, guys. It's time before we go though for a feat of strength.
Oh yes.
It wouldn't be Festivus without a feat of strength.
And I was hoping it was going to be you throwing Farrah down the hill.
Yeah. Well, he's not here, so
No.
this is great radio. I'm glad we're going to do this. I brought
I can narrate.
a deck of cards. All right, I'm going to put the mic down.
Okay, go ahead. So it's Jonny Lieberman now has put his mic down. He's holding out a deck of cards for unopened. Our Festivus feat of strength. I'm going to relight this.
He
great
can't
cigar.
get the cellophane off, so this is not looking good.
So you're actually going to tear this in half.
I'm going to tear it in
I don't think you can do that.
You can't get the cellophane off.
Is it trick cards? How do you tear playing cards in half? Maybe one card?
He bought him pre-cut. No. Okay. Let's see. Zuckerman now.
You open the deck. Inspect the deck, Paul.
This is very dramatic. This is exciting. I wish I had watched the Festivus episode and I would know how to set this up better, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
This is a real deck of cards.
Okay, so there are the
It's been
52
confirmed.
plus 2 jokers, so 54 cards.
Here he goes. He's put down. He's holding the cards in his hands. Zuckerman, take a picture of this so we can have it for social media.
Hold on.
Yeah, do some video.
Wait, Lieberman, hold on.
That's blurry. What's going on?
Okay. Here we are.
Great radio.
There he goes. Wow, look at that. He did that. That's impressive.
What a gorilla.
How did you do that? Is there a trick to it?
There's a technique, but a lot of it is just like having very strong hands.
Wow. And you credit your weightlifting on Instagram with that new strength that you have.
Well, no, I've been able to do this for a long time.
Hold those up. Hold it up so everyone can see.
Yeah. But
What a special night this
I
is.
bought a Hey man, feat of strength on Festivus,
It was
right?
good. No, it's good. I'm glad that you did that.
I actually bought a book like How to Tear Cards, and I got okay at it. And then
Somebody sold that book.
and then the
How
guy
to
that
Tear
wrote
Cards.
the book, the guy that wrote the book got in touch with me, and he's like, "Hey,
You're one of 3 guys that bought the book.
and he's like,
My son wrote a book about what? Tearing cards. What?
he's a working strongman. This is what they do.
Let's just buy 3 of the books and make him feel good. He's not selling any of them. Lieberman bought one.
Strong man.
But I don't know.
I've never heard of such a thing. How long is this book? How to Tear Cards, page 1. Tear like this. The end. What the hell?
It's a big book. It's like tall.
Does it have more magic in it?
No,
or is it
it's
just
about how to rip cards in half? Yeah.
I want to see this book.
How many
What's
pages?
the name of the book?
It's probably 40 pages. I believe it's called How to Tear a Deck of Cards or something.
It's 40 pages.
It's written by a
40
guy.
pages.
So, yeah, but there's a lot of different things you can do. Like if I was really strong, then I could quarter it. So I could take this
don't believe any
and rip this. Let me see if I can do this.
Okay. Okay, so you're taking now the little half of cards. This isn't in the book, by the way, is it? Or is this book 2 that's coming out?
This is unbelievable watching this. I'm thinking, who can you do this to?
This is not how this house should be used, Zuckerman. He did it.
He did it.
Oh,
Oh,
look
my
at that. Well, how about it?
Now I'm impressed.
That is pretty good. That's some book reading knowledge right there.
I had
That
to
was on
stand
page
up.
39.
I had to stand up.
What was the appendix?
Page 40. And then tear them. He's one word on every page.
He's got a new book.
First, yes, you take, buy
got a new book.
I'm gonna
cards.
plug him.
Yes.
So his name's Hercules. Really nice guy.
Hercules.
Yeah,
You know the guy?
Yeah. He gives me like Zoom lessons on like strongman stuff. But he's in the Guinness book. He was towing a Lamborghini with his hair.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyways, he has a new book, How to Bend Horseshoes.
Really?
Yeah, with your hands.
Well, how, when
So
you
it should be
call
a
them
bestseller.
books, like what
Is
is
it
it?
a pamphlet? Is it a zine? Or
It's this.
It's a book. You can go on Amazon and buy it. Yeah,
You
yeah,
can
yeah.
buy the
yeah,
book.
Hercules. It's like Hercules, but Hercules. Chris Ryder, I think, is his real name.
Well,
This is something I never thought I'd learn.
I'm so impressed with myself. Quartering
Every
a
day
deck.
I learned something
It was
today.
good that you did do that.
Quartering a deck is really hard
It
to do.
is really
That
cool.
was actually
Okay, so you could kill Farrah.
well. If I could strangle him and his hands were handcuffed behind his back, yes. But-
wow.
Yeah.
Well, we certainly lived tonight, gentlemen. Cigars, card tearing, grievances aplenty, an extra long show for all of you. And honestly, we wish you a happy Festivus, happy
Merry
Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you celebrate. How about just having a safe end to 2020 as we ride this thing out and have a great 2021. Hang in there, everybody. And get in your cars this holiday. Get in that car that you love, and the one you don't drive, the one with no miles. Get out there and drive it with your kids, with your girlfriend, with your special person. Then go buy how to tear cars.
It's a great stocking stuffer.
Yes, with
It's
your
actually
feet
a huge book
of strength.
It's a really big book.
And we will see
Full
you
color.
next week after the holidays on Spike's Car Radio. I think I'm going to have Matt Farah with me, and we'll do something. So we'll see you then.
Give him a deck of cards.
He can't do that. He can
do
rip
that to food.
He can rip a bag of weed in half, but that's about it.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio, brought to you by Hangar 56. Listen to new episodes every Wednesday, and be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.